Welcome to yeah, I messed that one up good, didn't I? Welcome to Coffee with Chaos. My name is James, and I actually have coffee this week. Last week I was forced to drink tea because I was out of coffee, but I like tea, so it worked out. Have an interesting show tonight. I do have some new things. Jerry, I found a comic I want to send you, but I got to find it again. It's a Mickey Mouse in German, and I want to send it to you. It's a newer one, but still, I've got two of them, so I figured I'd share. So hit me up on Instagram and send me your address so that I can send it to you. So now I've been thinking about the number of times I have heard people say it has a crease, but other than that, it's mint. And if you collect comics for any length of time, you're going to hear that. Or I'll read it on a description, spine ticks, but mint. Patrick, good to see you, buddy. Glad you could stop by. And I find that very annoying. I mean, if there was a way to quantify grading of comics, it'd be a whole lot easier, because to me, what that says, when somebody says it has a crease that breaks color, but otherwise it's mint, it means they don't know how to grade a comic. That's what it means. But if we could quantify it, it would be easier. Now, they've done that with cards. I mean, you take this baseball card here. It's reasonably nicely centered. It has pretty sharp corners. The edges are nice. And well, it's a little messed up because they have four things they grade on for a card: corners, edges, the centering, and then the actual card itself. They look for dents and things like that. So this one is not as good as it looks, by the way. It has some bends in it down here, and the back is not centered, so it's not as good as it looks. But I had that as an example. So that quantifies it. There's four things they have to grade on it. You can't do that with comics, because comics, you have to grade the front cover, you got to grade the back cover, you got to grade the spine, you got to grade the interior, the pages. Is it complete? What is the page quality? Does it have any big ink blotches on it? You look for, there's so many different things you look for. That's why it's so subjective. But what you shouldn't have is somebody that looks at a comic book and says, yeah, that looks like a fine copy. They never take it out of the bag. They don't know if it even has a back cover, and they have no idea as to the interior. And I have seen people in a comic shop grab a comic book. I'll just grab this one and go, yeah, that's a very good copy. Well, it has this stuff back here. Yeah, but it's still very good. They haven't looked on the inside. So you open it up and, well, look, it's got pages falling out of it. How's that very good? There's a reason why the pages are falling out of it. When I discovered that it had a lot of, it has pages that are cut out completely, pieces that are cut out completely, I pulled the staples out to use in another comic from the same month and year and DC. So I took the staples off of this one and replaced the staples in another comic that were rusted and falling apart. Same month and year. in DC, so I figured it was fun. That's why that's falling apart. But that's something that annoys me. Why don't people learn to grade? And even the big grading companies, they don't always get it right. Which brings me to what I'm going to do next. I'm going to show you things that I purchased this past week. I bought a pad of newsprint to use as a base for when I make pulp. Haven't decided exactly how I want to use it yet, but I have bought it. And then I picked up some other things. I picked up some pH strips, and I really like this. These are on plastic, and they've got little, yeah, and it's got the entire thing on there. So I bought those to use because it's a good idea to know what the pH is if I'm going to deacidify something. Oh, and my water is pH 5, by the way. That's the first thing I tested. And then Jerry mentioned to me that my squeegee was it looked cumbersome. And he's right. It's difficult to deal with. But I do like the silicone for moving water around. So I bought a smaller one. I'm going to try this. If this doesn't work, then I'll go ahead and use the plastic thing that I have. I do have one of those plastic spatulas, the ones that you use for plaster and stuff like that. I do have one somewhere. So I bought those to try it out. I want to see how that works. Pages, Films, and Plastic. Glad you could be here. Just here browsing. Good to see you. The next thing was I went to my local thrift store. I didn't have a lot of good stuff. But I found a book I've been wanting to read for a while. American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I've been wanting to read that for a while, so I'm real happy about getting that. And then I picked up this one because I like Orson Scott Card. I like the way he writes. So Hidden Empire. I picked up a couple of books for myself. And then I picked up a little bag of toys. And the main reason I picked it up was for this. Because it's so cool. It looks exactly like the school bus I used to ride, except the school bus I used to ride when I was little didn't have the stop sign. It was old. But the door opens and closes. And it's a pullback. So if I pull it back, it'll go forward. So yeah, I'm a big kid at heart. Then I found this in the box, little Spider-Man thing. I should be able to get $5 for it somewhere. And a whole bunch of McDonald's toys. That's a Mario. This is from the Marvels. This one is Sonic. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there's some other crap in here that's not worth anything. But I might have to put this in my collection because it's a Justice League, little Justice League binoculars. I might have to throw that in my collection. Oh, yeah, and they had a hole. That's not important. That's neat stuff. And I like stuff like that. But I got one other thing for my collection. And it's something I've been wanting for a long, long time. It's not in great condition. But it's Lois Lane #1. It's a 1.5. Like I said, it's not in great condition, but I'm happy to have it. And the greater notes on it was spine of cover completely split and cover detached, multiple crease cover breaks color. So yeah, I'm going to crack it eventually, and when I get a little better at doing leaf casting, I'll crack it and work on it. So yeah, very happy about that. It's something I've been wanting for many, many years, and I was given a decent price on it, so I said, yeah, okay. So let me put this stuff down so we can get to whatever I'm going to do next. For me, that was a grail. It's not really, well, I guess you could call it a grail by anybody's standards. There's not a whole lot of them on the CGC census. And that one's going to come off when I break it, because I do report that stuff. Anytime I break a CGC or a CBCS slab, I email them and let them know what the number was, what their registration number was, so they can remove it from themselves. So, not a lot of stuff. Some stuff I needed, some stuff I wanted, and the other one is just, yeah, I've been wanting that Lois Lane for many, many years. I believe it's from 1958, so not quite older than me, but it's getting there. What are we going to do next? Let's see. I guess it's time. Pressing Matters! To show the comics that I have pressed over the last week. Starting with Creatures on the Loose number 29. Now this has a big 15 on it that, yeah, it wouldn't even budge. It's from 1974. And I have looked through it. I know it has every page. I know it has everything in it. But I would still just rate it like a good to very good. Then we got Sad Sack Laugh Special. Went ahead and pressed that from 1971, or no, it's from 1971. It's number 62. That's about a $5 book, believe it or not. I don't expect it'll stay up in those prices. I expect the prices will go down on them. Here's from 1989, New Gods number 1. I believe I picked this up from Michael. It's from 1989. I like that cover. I need to put that cover off to the side and show when I do the head covers that I'm going to do. So we'll set that one off to the side. First Adventures number 1 from 1985. Nice first comic there. Got Silly Hands, which is Classics Illustrated Junior, number 538-576, and it's from 1968. So it's a reissue. Here is the Cerebus that I washed the cover, cleaned it up a little bit, and tried to get some of the staining off, and it turned out okay. I have another Cerebus in here we can compare it to. That's this pretty much how the stains looked before, and that's after. So it's a little bit better, not a whole lot. Number 35 from 1982. And we'll just go ahead and show this one. This is number 36, also from 1982. And I've been reading them as I go because Cerebus is cool, and I've never read them before. Sales Boy. Hey, if you didn't, there's two people you got to go check out their channels if you haven't already. Jerry the Jitterbug and Sales Boy Comics. Check them both out. Someday I'm going to get around to adding them on and putting them in the description so you have a way to go straight to the channel. This is Vanguard Illustrated number 3 from 1984. I've been pressing all of my duplicate PC comics. From Charlton, here's Blondie number 218. And that's number 76. Or it's from 1976, number 218. There's Archie, number 440 from, this is from, I think, 1995. But for some reason I have the wrong number on it, or the wrong date on the back. I'll have to fix that. Space Family Robinson, Lost in Space, number 440. I believe this is from 1976 or 77. Not sure which. Might be 74. I've got the wrong dates on most of them. Here's Tarzan number 1 again. And of course I showed this before, but I pressed it. And the reason I wanted to show it again was so I could show you the back cover. Because I failed to do that when I was going through my Tarzan collection. Go ahead and put a piece of tape on that so I don't forget. We have Creatures on the Loose, number 30 from 1974. First appearance of Werewolf. Unfortunately, it is missing the Marvel value stamp. So I will end up with a new copy of this eventually. But it makes a nice filler, and the missing Marvel value stamp does not affect the story. So while it's a defect, it's not critical. Although it's hard to read the letters column. We have Sad Sack, Navy Gobs and Gals, number 2 from 1972. From 1987, here's Swamp Thing, number 87. Yes. Sales Boy did went through a box of comics that he bought, and there was some pretty nice stuff in there. There's a few things in there I wouldn't mind getting my hands. Here's American Flag, number 23 from 1985. It should have said 8 o'clock. or 9 o'clock for you. Yeah, it said 9:30, but I changed the time back to when it was supposed to be at 8. My fault. I try to drop my morning videos at 6:30 Central, and this is 8 o'clock Central. Here's another Silly Hounds. Same thing from 1968. I've got multiple copies of a lot of the Classics Illustrated Juniors. Vanguard Illustrated number 4 from 1984. And I'm showing 28 today because I've started doing 4 a day instead of 3 a day. I don't know. It's hard to beat DC stuff, sales boy. Here's the Phantom, number 36 from 1970. Nice Charlton cover. And I took a cotton round and went around on it and buffed it out, and it really came around. I did that before I pressed it. For my Archie fans out there, and I know there's somebody out there that likes Archie, just me. But this is something that anybody would like. Adventures of the Jaguar from 1962. This is number 9. Not sure who did the cover. I looked it up and then promptly forgot. I really need to start writing that stuff down. From, I believe, 1974. Nope, 1982. Flash Gordon number 37 from 1982. Whitman. Whitman, Gold Key, Dell, they were all done by Western Publishing. So there you go. And speaking of Dell, bought Tarzan number 2 from 1948. And of course, I'm going to pull it out and show you the back cover. This one has a slight spine roll that I should have fixed, but I'm going to wait until I decide to reattach the cover. It's detached at the upper staple, so this needs a tiny bit of conservation work to it, but I don't want to start conserving my Tarzans until I'm a lot more comfortable doing it. Somebody liked Man-Wolf. Well, here's another one. Creatures on the Loose, number 31 from 1974. Someday I'll show all of my Tower of Shadows and Creatures on the Loose all at once, instead of having to see one at a time here and there. Sad Sack's Army Life, number 16 from 1967. It has some problems up here, but it turned out okay. And of course, I had to press this. Tarzan number 207 from 1972. I was a senior in high school when this book came out. I only pressed this one because it had water stains on it, and I wanted to get and I wanted to press it flat instead of having it wrinkled. But I'm keeping this not because it has water stains, but because it's such a great story. It's Captain Quick and the Foozle, number 1 from 1984. And I don't care. I mean, it's not worth, it's a dollar book, basically. But it's my dollar book. And even though it has this big, huge tide mark, I wanted to look halfway decent. So there you go. Then we have American Flag, number 28 from 1985. And finally, let's see, it's a 25-cent price tag, so I'm going to say it's probably a 576. So, because I didn't write it on the back like I usually do. I usually write the date up here and the number down here, and I forgot. But I'm pretty sure it's from a reissue from 1968, and that would make it number 539-576. And it's the 799th comic that I have pressed this year. I might hit 1,000. I don't know. So, drink some more coffee. Now, I asked in one of my videos about doing maybe Werewolf by Night or doing Moon Knight. And I dug them out. Wasn't sure which one I was going to do. Of course, you kind of have to do Werewolf by Night if you're going to do Moon Knight, because that's when he first appeared. Now, these comics I put in a box a long, long time ago, probably 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, with the intention that I was going to go through them, see what I needed to do as far as grading them, and I still had my store at the time. So I needed to grade them and see if I needed to do anything else to them, mostly just grading at that point. But I did occasionally press something in the ways you're not supposed to, big books. And I never got around to it. So they've been sitting in a box. So don't shoot me if some of them aren't in bags and boards, okay? Did I say some of them? I should have said most of them. And we're going to start off with Werewolf by Night, number 1. And this does needs a little bit of conservation. It's got some chips along the spine there. And but still, I mean, it's Werewolf by Night, number 1. I do have, I think, pretty sure I have Marvel Spotlight number 3, 4, and 5. Don't have number 2, I think, and I think that was the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. So I've got to start looking for that, preferably raw. And then I have a Werewolf by Night number 2, and as you can see, it has a problem here. It's not attached at the top. It's got some spine trouble. And it needs some conservation. A little tiny bit, not a lot. Here's number 3. It's in a little better shape. Cream colored pages. There's only 4 colors that you need to remember for pages: white, cream, tan, and brown. Because everything is a combination of those. You have white to off-white, off-white to cream, cream to tan, tan to brown. And then the other thing you have to think about is it supple, is it stiff, or is it brittle? If you remember those, you can grade the interior of a comic. Next up, we have number 4. And again, it has a problem on the back that needs to be taken care of someday. But that's why they're not in bags and boards, because I never went through and graded them. I'm missing number 5. Here's number 6. And that's kind of disappointing because I thought I had all the Werewolf by Nights. There's number 7. Number 8. These really need to be cleaned. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. There's a lot of these that I'm going to have to put off to the side. Yeah, I'm going to have to put that one off to the side too. Number 12. The terrifying moon monster called Taboo. Number 13. I love Mike Ploog's art. Number 14. Next one's a crossover. Number 15. Werewolf by Night and Dracula. Mike Ploog art. This one's in kind of rough shape. Number 16. The back cover is really, really nasty. Yeah, we'll have to work on some of these. Number 17. Don't be surprised. Once I finish pressing all my creatures on the loose, I start pressing either my Tomb of Dracula or my Werewolf by Night. Number 18. Number 19, Werewolf Battles Vampires. Number 20. Number 21. And is that Man-Wolf on there? Yeah. And number 22. Oh, I'm missing another one. Okay, I need to write the ones down I'm missing. I'm going to get them. Missing number 5, number 22. 22, number 5 and 23. Number 24. Steve and Spock, how you doing, buddy? Okay, I'm not sure why, but this one's in a Mylar. Number 25. I mean, it's in pretty bad shape. It's got tape on it right here. It's got a hole in there and tape on it. So that's going to have to come off. number 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Get me a little more coffee. Make you people wait. Am I going to show the first appearance of Moon Knight or the second? Number 32. First appearance of Moon Knight. So many people had tried to buy this off me. It isn't funny. But I don't want to sell it because then I won't have it in my Werewolf by Night collection. Oh, by the way, here's number 33, his second appearance of Moon Knight. $34. 35. 36. 37. With another appearance by Moon Knight. 38. 39. 40. 41. 'How many issues were there? I don't remember. Anyway, here's number 42 with Iron Man. Yeah, I didn't like it when they brought the superheroes into the horror comics. To me, that just sucked. With the exception of like Moon Knight, who was actually initially started Moon by Night. And number 43. And that's the last issue I have, so I don't know if I have them all or not. I know I'm missing 2. Let me check real quick and see how many there were without digging out my big book. Yeah, it wouldn't tell me. I don't remember how many is in there. Patrick, how you doing, buddy? Patrick Johnson. Haven't seen you for a while. So anyway, let me dig out this next stack. I showed the Werewolf by Night because, of course, that had the first appearance of Moon Knight in it. So let's see what else I have here. How about Moon Knight number 1? and number 2. And I have a lot less of these than I thought. I thought I had nearly the whole run, but I'm missing a lot of them. Number 5. Number 6. I will probably work on this run either this year or next year. Number 7. Number 10. Like I said, I'm missing a lot of them. Number 11. Number 12. Number 13. Number 14. Number 15. $16. 17. And look at who did the art. Cohen and Jusko. Number 19. Here's number 24 and an early negative cover, because you see the red just bleeds from the cover right into her dress or her gown. Number 26. $27. 28. 'What a cool back cover. That's an advertisement for number 29. This one is in really nice shape. Number 30. Just here browsing. Glad you could stop in. Number 31. Number 32. Number 33. Yeah, especially when you consider these have been just sitting in a box for the last 25 or 30 years. Felix, glad you could stop in. Number 34. I have to dig out my Marvel magazines and show them sometime. I have a bunch of them. Jackson Roy Kirk, glad you could stop in and take a look. I don't know. I'll have to check on that for you. Number 35. And on the back of all of these, it has advertising for the next one, which is kind of cool. Here's number 36. 38, and that one's in a Mylar. All those other ones I showed you, except for the first one, have not been a bag and a board. This one's in a Mylar. But it's pretty close to perfect. I don't need to. Yeah, I don't even need to press this one. That's how nice it is. Then this one really confused me because I was sure I had all the Mark Spector Moon Knights, but I don't. I have a number 11, number 12, number 17, and I might find them later on. Number 20, number 21, number 34, 39, and 52. And that's all I've got of Mark Spector Moon Knight, and I thought I had nearly all of those. Oh well. No, I like Moon Knight. And there's only like one or two of the DCs that you have that I'd be interested in. Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. Ah, okay. So it's giant-sized creatures and then giant-sized werewolves. Yeah, I saw that. I gave him a shout out too, kind of in the earlier part. Michael Parks. Glad you could stop in. Well, yeah, but I have like 60 short boxes of DC Comics, not including duplicates. Those are single issue. Yeah, I have a lot of comics. I'm sure I have things you'd like aside from my Moon Knights. Well, you're always welcome to come back. Let's see, what do we have here? We have Moon Knight 1 of 4. Two of 4. Three of 4. I believe these came out in the 90s. And then I don't have number 4 of 4. And then we have Moon Knight High Strangers, number 1. And number 2. And then the more recent Moon Knight number 5. I'm not really that impressed with this one. But I do like the cover on this last one I'm going to show you, which is the Moon Knight Annual number 1, which is fairly recent because, yeah, got Werewolf. And that's my Moon Knights. I don't have as many as I thought I did. I have to find out how many I'm missing and maybe work on that collection of the first series. That's the one I really want. I don't really care that much about the other ones, the Merc Spectres and the others. I'd like to have them, but I'm not going to worry about them. Those are my accumulate things. I really don't use a metal sheet on the top, to be honest with you, and I don't have any trouble. Think where I think I get the best results is the long cold press afterwards, because after I do the heat press, and about between 4 and 6 hours later, I'll take it out and I put it in a cold press. And it'll sit in the cold press for anywhere from 30 to 40 hours. And I think that's why I never have problems with reversion. Reversion is when you heat press something, you take it out, and then a couple of days later, it's right back to where you started. Thank you, Jackson Roy Kirk. I appreciate that. I do try. Oh, it says special issue, but does it say collector's item? If it says collector's item, well, that you got something special there. Yeah, go back and take a look at some of my stuff. I've got videos going back about 5 or 6 years. I've been on YouTube a long time, but nobody knows me. Yeah. Okay. That is the most important thing about cleaning comics and pressing comics is you have to be patient. If you aren't patient, it's not going to work. Set your press. If you're going to do newer comics, 2000 to modern, current stuff, the year 2000 current stuff, go with about 130 to 140 degrees at most. If you're doing the older stuff from actually anything before 1999, you can pretty much go at 160 and be okay. Yeah, really. Oh, okay. You do stuff like this then. I got to work on that one and that one, and I got to work on that one. And this one needs a little bit of conservation. That's the first appearance of the Atom, and then the second appearance, and the third appearance. Oh, look, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I don't think it has the ape poster. Yeah, if it had the ape poster, this would be like a $60, $70 book. And I got some other crap here too. Some Commandy and stuff like that. All stuff I need to work on someday. Yeah, I'm a DC fan. I grew up reading, my earliest memories was DC. The first comic book I ever read was Superman number 101. And I know that because I have a copy now. Very happy about that. Yeah, it's got a big chunk missing out of one of the pages, but I don't care because that particular comic is special to me for several reasons. Number one, interesting story. At least I think it's interesting. I'm in a toy slash comic shop. Superman 101? I'm thinking 57, 56, 57, somewhere around there. But I was in it, and I'm looking through comics, and I've been collecting Superman for years. And this was before I owned a store, by the way. And I pulled out this Superman, and he said, "You don't want that. It's missing a big chunk out of one of the pages." And I open it up, and I look at the splash page, the main page, and my jaw drops. And he said, "What's wrong? Are you okay? Do I need to call an ambulance?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Man, you just went white, like a ghost white, and I'm pretty white already, so that's saying something." I said, "No, but I have to have this comic." He went, "No, I don't want to sell you that comic because it's damaged." I said, "No, you don't understand. You don't have a choice. I have to have this comic." And he's going, "Why? What's going on?" I said, "This is the first comic book I ever read. Not this particular one, but this issue." He said, "How do you know?" He said, "Because I remember, I read it like 40 or 50 times at least. And I remember that page." He said, "Well, why don't you remember the cover?" I said, "Because I'd never seen the cover before. I got it as a coverless comic. Somebody gave it to me because it didn't have a cover." Yeah. November 1955. There you go. Year and a half after I was born. But I read it around 1959, 1960. And I could read before I started school. I didn't have kindergarten back then. I just went straight into first grade. But my sisters had taught me to read, so I knew how to read it already. But that was the very first comic book I ever read. And even though it has a big chunk out of it, I insisted I had to have it, and he refused to sell it to me. And I said, "Look, what's it going to take to get it?" He said, I can't not let you have it, but I can't sell it to you." I said, "What?" He said, "You can have it. It's on me." I said, "No, man, I got to pay for it." And he refused to take my money for the comic. So I bought some other stuff. But that's how I got my Superman 101. He gave it to me because it was the first comic book I had ever read. And I absolutely had to have it. And it's still missing big chunks out of it. I don't care. I am going to get another copy of it eventually. But I will always keep that one because he gave it to me. And I'm pretty, I'm like that. If you give me something, no strings attached, for free, I'll probably keep it forever. I've got stuff that I don't want, but they were gifts, so I keep it. But there you go. First comic book I ever read was a Superman. Who's my favorite comic character? Superman. I was totally devastated by what Michael Bendis did to him. Matter of fact, I have not read a modern Superman, since about the third or fourth Michael Bendis one that I read. And that was I said, "No, I can't do that. No, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how Superman is." So, I still read the old ones. I have probably 7 boxes just of Superman and Action Comics. Superman, Man of Steel, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, Super Family, Super Team Family. So yeah, I have, and DC Comics Presents, I have a bunch of those. The theaters around me stopped showing it. I'm going to buy the video. I'm going to use the money you sent me to buy the video or the DVD, because the studios, the movie studios around me stop showing it, I'll have to drive almost 100 miles round trip to go watch it. So I'm going to use that money you sent me to go see the movie to buy the DVD. And I'm going to watch the hell out of it. Sorry, Michael. I just, nothing I can do. They short run times where I live. It's like boom, 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 boom. They keep changing the movies. It drives me crazy. I never get a chance to watch anything unless I want to drive 50 miles each way. And I don't like doing that. So. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. DC releases stuff real fast. They pull it out of the theaters and send it on too fast. I think if they had have re-released the first Wonder Woman movie, if they had delayed the release of the DVD and re-released it in the theaters, I think it would have made over $1 billion, because it wasn't that far off. Maybe not the second Wonder Woman, but that first one, yeah, people were going crazy watching that one. But all they had to do was do it right. I don't have a lot of Silver Age Marvels left. Matter of fact, I think I sold almost all of my Silver Age Marvel comics because I'm not, with the exception of Daredevil, I'm just not into Marvel. Not really. I mean, Moon Knight I like Werewolf by Night, I like Tomb of Dracula, I like a lot of the Astonishing Tales, Marvel Spotlight, Marvel Premiere, the tryout comics like that. I like those. I like the horror. Monster of Frankenstein is one I'm going to have to do eventually, which I think became later Frankenstein's Monster or just Frankenstein. But the first few issues were Monster of Frankenstein. But those are all Bronze Age. Conan, I like Conan. I collect that. But again, Bronze Age. So. I haven't decided what I'm going to show next. It's going to be a surprise, but it'll be good. It'll be good. I could show my Atom comics, but I'm missing a whole bunch of them. But I have the first 3 appearances. I just showed them. I have a lot of Silver Age DC. A little bit of Atomic Age. And a little bit of Golden Age. But yeah, we'll get into it. Yes, actually, I was into Marvel. In 1970, I bought my first Marvel comic, and I just went nuts. And by 1975, I had pretty much every Marvel comic that was printed from Fantastic Four #1 to 1975. I was missing, I think, Fantastic Four #5, either #4 or #5. I was missing the first appearance of the first Captain America, which I think was Avengers #4, and I was missing a couple of Millie the models. And other than that, I had them all. And then I sold them. I just sold them all. Show a Treasury edition, I could do that. I have to dig them. Well, DC, the large DC comics are easy for me to show. The Treasury size DC, those are easy because I have those already bagged and boarded and ready. I haven't pressed them all yet, but I've got them ready. The Marvel ones, I have to dig those out, but I do have quite a few. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll show Marvel Treasury Edition next week. Whatever I've got of them. One or two of them are not in very good shape, but yeah, I'll do that. I like all of the large format Marvel Treasury DC first editions and stuff like. I still have this one up here because I was going to press it, but I haven't yet. Yeah. Oh, my Action Comics #1. I believe this was the first Action Comics #1 reprint ever done. So yeah, I'll dig out the Marvel ones and go through them. I think I showed them a long time ago, but it never hurts to show stuff like that again. And it'll make me go ahead and order some more bags and boards for Treasury Edition size. Which I don't order Treasury Edition size, I order Life Magazine size, because that fits everything. So, yeah, we can do that. I'll do that. I'll dig those out and show those next week. Which means new thumbnail with the Treasury Edition. New Treasury Edition thumbnail. I'll show the back cover of one of them. So, I did show one not long ago because I pressed it. I cleaned it and pressed it. But that was I believe that was my Superman Wonder Woman large size. I don't think I showed my Fantastic Four one that I did. But, yeah, like I said, I'll dig those out. I've been meaning to dig them out for a while anyway, so that's a good thing. Going to make me work. So I got a few comics here to show for my faces, what I'm going to do. Got 4 of them. That's cool. I want to have 10. I want to show 10. I believe so. I think I do. I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure I do. I don't make notes of stuff like that. You know, the when it has like a questionnaire or a special advertisement or, the Mark Jewelers editions. I don't make a differentiation on them when they're in my collection. I just put them in there. I might differentiate, in my database. I might point out one is a newsstand, one is direct. If I have 2 copies listed in the database, but other than that, I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of different inserts that have been in comics over the years. Like this one. This one had a Planet of the Apes poster on it. There's 2 different printings of this. One has the poster, the reprint does not. And there's no way to tell if you have a reprint that doesn't have the poster or one where the poster was removed, except if the staple is a little loose. What else do I have in that stack? Yeah, here's one I need to. Here's one I need to do a little work on. that one definitely needs a little love. It is completely detached, by the way. There's the cover. There's the rest of the comic. It needs some love. Don't remember when. I think Black Orchid's first appearance was in one of the Lois Lane comics. That's from 1973. I might have some 1978 comics here. It's 1978, but it's January, so it actually came out in 77. It's one of the few Flash comics I have left. There's a really bad. I'm going to work on this one. I think got really bad tide marks on it, or maybe I'll just send it to somebody else. Let them work on it. That's in 1972 to 76 to 77, 77, 1973, 1984. This is about a 1980. Yeah, this is a good Wonder Woman to have. It has a preview of the Huntress. I don't have any here. That's these. That's 76. Yeah. What you look for 1978 is about a 35-cent price tag. And I'm sure I have some somewhere. I don't know if I've shown. I'm sure I've shown this before. This is DC Whitman 3-pack, still sealed. And I have all three of the comics that are in it. Obviously, I have them because I have them right here. But the one in the middle is the important one. The one in the middle is Super Friends. But I have some others that are still in the packs like that somewhere. I could someday I could show my accumulation of this title, but nobody'd be interested in that. You know, nobody likes this stuff, so I don't see why I would want to show that. I don't collect X-Men. I don't collect Wolverine. I accumulate them. I don't collect Punisher, but I accumulate them. And I have a lot of them. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you next week, same time, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. It doesn't matter what it says. It's 8 o'clock Central Time, okay? If it says 9:30, it's still 8 o'clock Central. It's not. It's still 8 o'clock Central Time. And I'll try to do it right this time. But that's going to be it for tonight. hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you saw some things you haven't seen, either haven't seen before or haven't seen for a while. And if you came in late, go back and rewatch the whole thing. And don't press somebody if they say, look, it has this crease, but other than that, it's mint. Don't trust them, because they don't know a mint comic from a very good comic. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, check out my videos that are dropped through the week. Friday, another video for the Cisco Kid. Bye.